right, welcome everybody. We've got some breaking news kind of right now, right here live. A lot of you guys know that Connor went deep sea fishing yesterday.
Whoa.
And something happened to him. I got a picture of footage that was sent to me that something happened to Connor. He's all right. When you see this picture, it might be disturbing.
I hope it's magical.
And we're going to talk to him, but I got to show you this picture first. So a lot of you out there, hold on tight. This might be
sensitive.
Let me see
Sensitive
here.
material.
Connor went into the mouth of Jaws.
Right that's there. So perfect.
Look at that. Right in the stomach. Somehow, they were able to pull Connor out. We don't know how. We don't know what happened.
That's discipline because he could pose like that inside of the mouth of a large, yeah.
Yes, Bob. The question is, did he slip? Did he volunteer to go into the shark?
Looked like he probably was just doing a selfie and he crawled himself inside of because his comfort level is really high in this. Well, he doesn't seem to be upset.
He doesn't seem upset.
No.
It's like, hey, can you guys do a picture of me in Jaws' mouth?
Yeah.
So we got him. We actually got him. So we're going to ask him, what's going on here in this picture?
I mean, he would do something
Connor,
like this.
We got a picture of you taking a pose with Jaws. Did you let yourself get inside Jaws? Did he capture you, or did you fish him with a fishing pole? How did you get into Jaws' mouth?
Yes, I actually am a little sad to say I got in a small argument with a guy on the back of the boat because I had my GoPro rolling and I had some good footage. And you guys know with YouTube and all the strict copyright BS that they're putting us through, well, he was playing music from his phone. And, of course, I'm down with the music. I make rap music. I play guitar. I'm down with the flow. But you're scaring away all the fish. And then all the older people on the back of the boat, they don't want to hear it. And guess what? I don't want my YouTube video getting taken down when I'm catching the megalodon and looking for these mermaids in the Pensacola serpent. So me and him wrestled and tussled. And, I slipped off the boat, fell in the jaws of Jaws. But luckily, I had a protective, boundary layer over me because I talked to a shaman early in the morning in the swamp right before daybreak. And, man, you can see that I trusted in the process. And I'm still a little slimy. I had to shower a few times. But I lived with a couple teeth. And, of course, I found my GoPro as well because that was down there deep in his throat. But I can't wait for you guys to see the footage. And it's going to be amazing. But I'm sad to say, rest in peace to the other guy I was tussling with. He fell in as well, and a hammerhead ate him.
There is one question that everybody wants to know. Did you urinate inside the shark?
Yes, it was actually, I learned from many small things in the woods that, sometimes I spook a little bit, and then they wet themselves in defense. Man, I wet myself, and, I was a little looser out the other end as well. My good friend, Big Boss Jaws, spit me out. And, I yanked that front molar right there, the R2, right to the left of my head. And can't wait, again, to show you guys that journey. But I was out there with my mom, my grandpa, and then my grandpa's neighbor, Dave Nippert, who I haven't seen in more than 15 years. And I had this on my bucket list for the longest time, and I'm just lucky to make it out and alive. And, yes, my hair stayed nice and polished and fresh. But,
I know.
But soon.
I know. Which end did he come out of?
I actually fought through its gills, so just about like 6 feet deep, inside there. But, yeah, man, it was the talk of the boat for the whole 6-hour trip.
I would imagine.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. All right. That is fantastic. Awesome. Now, guys, one last thing before we start the Bigfoot section of the show. Each thumbnail, I'm interviewing people or doing videos front of different cities. I don't know. Planets. I don't know. So what I'm talking about is if you look at two of my thumbnails, let me see here. If you guys recognize what city, what space city I'm behind there, put it in the chat. Today's thumbnail, I'm under another kind of a city. So if you know these two areas, put it capitalized. It's kind of like a little trivia. Like a little trivia, kind of little fun little trivia. Where am I doing this show from? Where is that at? So yesterday's, there's one. If you don't know what it is, I understand. If you know where I'm behind here, I don't know. And tomorrow or Thursday will be another city. So that is for fun. But today, guys, we're going to jump right into the Bigfoot community. But if you know what those cities are, put it in the chat. Because I know one of you guys, I know some of you know exactly where I'm doing the show from. But beyond that, let's get into the Bigfoot. All right. This first video I'm going to show you guys is actually from Flat Rock's channel again. And this is not about what he's seeing, it's about what he's hearing.
Cool.
So I'm going to play a video and I'm going to need you guys to hear. It's in his opinion, it could be a juvenile Sasquatch making a noise. So I want you guys to see this video, not just see it, listen to it. So I try to make it like loud as I can so you guys can hear it even louder. So let's hear, maybe the sound could be a juvenile Sasquatch. Here we go.
Oh, cool.
Here we go. Now, he has to be an experienced a Bigfoot researcher, because if I heard that noise and you're telling me it's Bigfoot, I don't know if I'd be able to tell you the difference between a juvenile versus an adult. But you can hear a noise out there.
Yeah.
If you guys, I'll have the link directly to this channel so you can listen to it at home with headphones, a lot as you can. But let me see if I get back to the part to hear it again. Let's see. So Connor, on a lot of your research you've gone, have you heard noise familiar to that kind of a sound?
I've heard noises like that when we're in the tent, waking up in the middle of the night and you hear like monkey noises. I've heard that through speakers, through headphones. And I love that sound right there. It does sound like a younger one, kind of like cackling or being playful. There is a lot of intelligent sounds coming from Flat Rock Boogers Forest. There's some that they kind of bait the dog using a whistle to bark, so that way they know where it is around the yard. It's really next level. So yeah, I think this was probably one of the younger ones because it doesn't sound as deep as the alpha. But Flat Rock will be the first one to tell you he's not a researcher. He just lives with them, so he can tell the difference after 3 years every night, hearing the older ones calling in deeper in the forest than the younger ones trying to kind of play games with Flat Rock and his family. But yeah, man, it's really cool audio. And a lot of Flat Rock's footage is you have to look inside and you really have to know what you're looking for. But other stuff, it really just hits you right in the face. But then once you bring the whole picture together, it's really something special. And I'm really looking forward to Cowboy Squatching Cowboy Joe Pass. He just went up to Flat Rock Booger, and he's releasing a 2-part little series. And I'm so excited to see some other takes on it. And Tyler Howell Outdoors was just there recently and got a bunch of cool stuff documented. So, man, a lot of dope, awesome stuff coming from Flat Rock. And I'm hopefully going to be stomping on those grounds at the end of the month with Squatch in South Florida and Tyler Howell.
No, I saw that. I was the Squatching Cowboys YouTube page. Maybe Dan in the chat can put the link there, and you can see he already has links for these shows coming up. A Bigfoot in Evergreen, Alabama, premiering. One's premiering on the 16th, Bigfoot, Alabama, and then another one is premiering on the 23rd. So he's already got the links for him. So
yeah, I'm super excited. And anybody that knows anything about Evergreen, it is the town that loved Bigfoot. There's a documentary. I suggest everybody watch it. I'm pretty sure it's on Amazon. They actually reached out to Kenny about being involved, but his is too personal. Wow. It's on his property. It's with his family. But it's a great movie. Evergreen, Alabama, the capital, and Bama is America's Amazon. There are so many waterways throughout there, and they have Huggin' Molly, the Mobile Wolf Woman, ton of boogers, and a ton of other crazy crap. So definitely keep posted to all of that.
And make sure you go to the page I just showed you. Put on the notification, so when it comes on, you can see it. Now, Bob, you heard that sound.
I did.
Have you heard that sound like that before, in your opinion, or is that almost a new kind of sound for you?
No, that's the pretty much standard sound for the little fuckers making them noises out there. It's hard to make as a human. You can, but why? Are you going to bother a single family that's doing nothing?
And why would they do that in Flat Rock's backyard?
Right. Why would they just single somebody out? He makes. No, I don't think anybody's gonna go that far. No, that's pretty standard sound they make out there. That's
Now this next video, you guys gotta make your own opinion on this. This is basically a Republican Riggleman Riggleman compares hunt for Bigfoot to political conspiracy theories. So let's hear this guy talk about Bigfoot and adding it to conspiracy theories. So I thought it was kind of interesting. You guys might think so. I don't know if this is going to make you happy, mad, or angry. Who knows what. But here, let's just check it out. Let's just listen to this.
My next guest, an outgoing Republican congressman who once dropped thousands of dollars on trips to hunt down Bigfoot. Joining me now, Republican Congressman Denver Riggleman of Virginia, who is the author of Bigfoot, It's Complicated. He joins me now. Congressman, I got this pitch in my email about your book, and I initially dismissed it until I heard an interview you did and how it linked conspiracy theories. And I thought it was just a really brilliant way of trying to get at the problem that we are facing right now. Specifically, I know it's on both sides at the extremes, but it is more mainstream right now within the Republican Party. What do you do about this?
Well, thanks for having me on, by the way. I did try to get at people a little bit with this book, Bigfoot, It's Complicated, because, I've been a victim of disinformation. But, my background is in intelligence, counterterrorism, and non-kinetic attack, sort of like what you saw with the Solar Winds hack. And I just wanted people to know that belief systems can completely overtake your life view. And looking at different sets of Bigfoot believers, not only did they get very angry with me, they actually thought, Katie, and I hope you're okay with this, they thought I was making lists. I worked for the National Security Agency. They thought I was making lists to hack into their bank accounts and destroy their lives because we knew that Bigfoot existed. That is sort of what you're seeing out there right now. And it's not just the conspiracy theories that we've heard, like you just had that incredible interview or that incredible back and forth about those poor ladies who believe in adrenochrome. And that Democrats are, a Satan-worshiping cabal of pedophiles that are trying to plan a deep state coup against the president. It's that, we got anti-vaxxers, and we have people like General Mike Flynn out there talking about martial law and military efforts to overturn the vote. So really, it really is an analogy that these belief systems can take over, Katie, and they can run your life. And, there's not weaponized Bigfoot people out there, right? They're not actually coming at your house because you don't believe in Bigfoot, but they don't like each other. But we're certainly seeing insanity being weaponized and monetized in a massive grift across the internet, and all of it's based on things that are massively false. They're not even close to being real.
When you talk about monetization, you make the connection between Sidney Powell and Rudy Giuliani, who are both part of the legal effort to overturn this election on behalf of the president, and link them to those who were selling folks the conspiracy of Bigfoot.
This is a griftocracy. I mean, that's the best thing I have for it, right? It's a bunch of people who are in on the grift. When I did that first Bigfoot expedition, I gave thousands of dollars, and there were 40 people there. I mean, they made a lot of money off, looking, going after Bigfoot. I guess I could start some kind of business going after unicorns, right? Or going after the chupacabra, right? Or maybe the Kraken. So, so that's the issue that we have right now, is that people are monetizing this. And what you're showing even on the screen was just the fun time we had out there. And we would go out, people, they would show us Bigfoot caves. They would show us maps to wilderness areas. It's the same thing you see on digital media. They have a map where you can go, whether it's on Gab or Parler or BitChute or YouTube or Twitter or Facebook. The encrypted chans, right? The encrypted image boards. All that is the same map that people are using right now. I talked to an NYU psychology professor about conspiracy theories. He'd done a lot of research on it. And he said that when you try to fact check people on it, they only dig in further. They get more stringent, stronger in their beliefs. They don't believe the fact checks. So given that, and that's the effort that we make every day on television, it's what Facebook is trying to do with its fact checks and Twitter, et cetera. What sort of responsibility do our political leaders need to take to try and combat this themselves? Is it possible to combat this?
Control us?
I think it is. I think you got to do it compassion, but you also have to be very offensive. What we're going after is really dissemination of disinformation.
I love what Flat Rock just put in the chat. Hold on, let me remove this. If you have to pay someone to go Bigfooting, who is really getting screwed? So I don't know if anybody's ever seen that, but I mean, at first you're like, he's saying that, Bigfoot is real, but then it's like, I don't know. Connor, what do you think of that?
Yeah, I guess he was talking about me at the very beginning when he was saying that the conspiracy theories consume you in your way of life, because basically everything he was saying was against what I stand for. He's a freaking joke. What a joke. That's all I can say. And then her at the end, double down. And that was 8 months ago or 6 months ago. And now we see how much it's transcended forward in the opposite direction of how they were talking. What a joke. Again, guys, wake up. And I know most people here, y'all see it clear as day. That is a facade. But if anybody looks to those people for honest answers, oh my gosh, And
the thing is, you have a job, you pay taxes like everybody else. I mean, is it really consuming you where you're not paying your share to the government so they have their money fucking pockets and pay people thousands of dollars? I mean, Bob, what are you thinking about that? You ready to run?
Well,
you ready to run?
I always go back to this is just me. And I went to school for science. I worked at Aerospace Museum. I know about astrology and things that can go up to the vacuum of space, whatever they want to call it. And when they have that Tesla car up there, and all the Republicans and Democrats are all clapping at something that is clearly not. It just mocks science. They're mocking science. I'm like, you can't have a car up there with rubber tires and a plastic, counter, and it would melt. There would be 1,000 things. This car would be inflamed. It would be imploded. And it'd be the bearing grease is holding the bearings in your wheels would shoot out like a shotgun. It would be like, no. But they have it there, and they've given billions of dollars to an asshole to put up this charade. But they're going to tell me that we're starting a conspiracy, and there's a conspiracy going on, and they're lying. People are lying to each other in the public. I'm like, you guys are the biggest fucking liars.
It is.
I'm like, what are you talking about? You blatantly lie, to the point where it's a joke, even to the science community.
The guy said they believe in adrenochrome when that's an actual thing. documented for a long time. And
well, they did it with the Viking. With the Viking.
It's a chemical makeup, They have like the chemical makeup of it, and someone's going to say they believe in it. Like, that's just silly talk. And again, it's all just to like help sweep something under the rug. And that message definitely got a lot of people to be like, oh yeah, you're right. But all of us who stand strong on our 2 feet, you ain't pushing us or swaying us. You can't sway me with a little blow. What a joke, man. I got my roots.
And what's sad is there's conspiracies that are harmful. Bigfoot hunting, researching is not harmful. And you're bashing, you're kind of making fun of a thing you're calling conspiracy like it's a bad conspiracy. People have fun doing this, getting outdoors, and getting exercise. The one they say that people need to get exercise. If you're doing research, you're getting exercise. You should want people to do this. Well, who cares? Guys, let's just jump on over to paranormal. I got 2 videos. The second one is going to be ghost stories from Bigfoot Anonymous. Before we get to that one, this was sent to me from one of our listeners through an email about, it's called "What Did the Fisherman Pull Out of This Fish Stomach?" And then the channel called Disclose Screen the Green Fair. I reached out to them and asked them, hey, can I show this video? Because they're the ones who put this together, and they gave me a thumbs up. So there's actually, I already have this link up right now in the description. All the other videos I'll show you, the descriptions will be up right after this show. But Disclose Screen, check them out. They got some cool stuff on their channel. And like I said, they gave me permission to show this. So I appreciate anybody who shows me this. So, and I didn't even know what category to really put this in. I was like, paranormal, UFO, Bigfoot. I decided to put it into paranormal. Here it is.
Welcome back.
So I'm presenting today's video as the Grim Reaper's Mystery Box, Episode 3. This video will make you question your whole reality. So let's start with this image then, uploaded to a Facebook group by a second-hand party, which means it's not from the original source, so the legitimacy and validity of this image remains, a bit unstable. But what I can make out from this post is a fisherman supposedly got home with his catches of the day when he noticed one of the fish had something stuck in its throat. And as you can see from the image, he had a bit of trouble removing this from the fish. Yikes, a bit of a mess. And this is allegedly what was inside of the fish. If real, this is really bizarre. This left some commenters claiming this fish snagged a baby mermaid. Well, I don't know about that, but it does look humanoid-like. Nothing should be swimming in the lakes, rivers or oceans that looks remotely anything like this, no matter what part of the world you are from. Others claim though that the mini carcass looks like or is an aborted baby human fetus. If so, how did it get into the fish's stomach? I've got my theories, but I wouldn't really like to speculate here. The whole scenario just seems so weird. If it is a human fetus, I don't know what's more disturbing, the fact that it could be real or the fact that somebody went out of their way to obtain an aborted fetus. Don't ask me how, and set this entire thing up as a hoax. How does somebody come up with an idea like that? So it makes you think. Well, it begs the question, is this a legitimate image? And if it is, what did this fisherman pull out of this fish's stomach?
Okay, let's just say, for the sake of this, 100% real. Is that a mermaid? Is that an alien? Is that a fetus, like you said? Like I said, I didn't know what category to put this in. Because it looks like an alien's kind of a head, and the body part, there's no legs in a way, so mermaid. So Connor, in this game, this is real. What is it?
It doesn't even have to be a game. I think the picture definitely looks real. You could see his hands on the wood at the top of the picture, when it's not enlarged. And you could see it pulled out of the guts. I just love the idea. Of course, I was just on a nice fishing trip. Let's cut some of those snapper open and let's see if there's any mermaids in there. But yeah, it's a possible mermaid. My mind went to alien right away, but it does kind of have like that reptilian face. or even a little baby frogman as well. I think it's super interesting. I love that, people keep their eyes out for stuff like this, but man, we consume food like this. So are we consuming baby aliens or maybe, aborted fetuses? It gets really crazy out there. So yeah, my mind's open to it, man. I was counting the fingers and everything. Yeah. There's 5. And I like how on the left side of the picture, the fingers like cross. So it's either very good editing or just very, very impressive find. But again, very cool for it to be sent to us and us to get to talk about it, because we're on a lot of paranormal and underground circles, and this didn't cross my path until now. So thank you.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And Sean G sent me here. It's actually on Twitter. I'm not going to press play because I don't know if it's technically copyrighted for me to show it, but some weird, different, cool shapes. Even stuff that's on TikTok can be copyrighted, so I haven't checked it, so I'm not going to press play on it.
Oh, those are the pinch.
Yeah, I saw that one too.
Yeah.
Eric, have you seen what I've been doing? How, of course, I know you've seen it because you posted my TikToks on the shorts, but what I have to do is I have to mute the sound from the TikTok, and then I put a new YouTube sound on it, so I know that it's not copyrighted.
Yeah, I noticed that like on YouTube, if I put YouTube music on something for YouTube and I try to post that on TikTok and there's that little run check, it's copyrighted. So you can use free music from YouTube, but you can't use that free music on TikTok. So you always got to double check. And I'm always double checking. Now, Bob, when you see this, what do you think?
Well, I'm not seeing any skeleton. I'm not seeing any bones. There's no bones in it.
That is weird.
And the figures, those shouldn't be crossed that way. There's no bones in it. So, I mean, on a scientific level, whatever it was, it didn't fully develop yet because there's no bones. The bones are still soft. It could be an aborted. I hate saying stuff like that. It would have to have been an aborted, incomplete child of some sort. Again, Connor's stuff was pretty solid on the table for other things. There's just no bones there, guys. You'll see no bones. No spine. The figures don't cross that way. They look wet and slimy. It's been under the water, so of course everything would be, but still bones would have some sort of.
Yeah. And guys, if you go into the description to this to their channel, they actually have a full 10-minute video of different stuff along with this story. They actually do a bunch of stories too. So, like I said, it's pretty good. So I want to thank the listener for showing me this. I want to thank that channel for saying, show it. Because they just recently, this is just recently put up on their channel just a couple weeks ago. And sometimes there's a new video, they don't want to show it. But beyond that, guys, now, a lot of people know Bigfoot Anon as the Bigfoot guy, the Bigfoot title. But if you go to his channel, people, here, next, let me pull up his channel. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about.
He's got a lot of different things.
Let me go to his channel. Okay,
he has a variety.
He's got a variety of different stuff. And here, let me share the screen. Of course,
guys, I'm excited about this too because I don't know what story he's talking about, so I'm just so thrilled with the rest of y'all.
Yeah, a lot of his older stuff that I think there's a lot of good stuff. There's only 26 views, and so I think people should. So what I did was I took 4 of his stories of areas that has a story behind the paranormal. They're like minute long. So I took like 4 of it and I made it into one video. And what I like about it is him just telling the story behind the haunting part,
which is important to context.
It's very important. So here we go.
Extremely important to context first.
Here we go.
It's Connor from Bigfoot Anonymous. We're here across from the Dozier School at the infamous church. Some very bad things happened here. The Dozier School has a couple documentaries and movies, plenty of videos about it. It was a dark place full of evil, that they messed with experimentation, murder, and they just made people vanish. Holy cow. I highly suggest reading up on this place. I plan on going across the street and talking to the sheriff about what happened. Hola amigos, it's Cacho from Bigfoot Anonymous. I'm here at the old Calhoun County Jail, one of the most haunted places in the region. Feels a little spooky. I don't know if it's because of the haunted vibes or because we were just talking to some current inmates and prisoners about their own stories. Whew. One of the most famous stories is a sheriff shot an inmate while in the prison, and the bullet is still somewhere in the walls. Another night, the inmates heard terrorizing screams from a prisoner who was alone in his cell. They went and found him. He was unconscious, covered in blood, with bite marks all over his body. It was bleeding from the walls. Take a look inside, see what's in there. Wow, what a spooky place and time. Jeez. It looks like that's a... It's Connor from Bigfoot Anonymous, and I'm here at an abandoned church at the end of a long dirt road. I had to drive in really slow because the bottom of my car is very rusty from living up north and having to deal with the salt trucks. The mail lady was right behind me. I hope she didn't call the cops when she saw I took this turn onto the road of no return. This building was put up in 1938 and is still standing strong. Many people say the graveyard is haunted back here with ghostly apparitions and gray humanoid creatures. One time after dark, the person I was with spotted one.
Good point, Matt.
I could envision all the memories from these days. There's a homeless camp outside. I've been keeping my eyes peeled.
Wow.
Yo, it's Connor from Bigfoot Anonymous, and I'm here at Sunnyside Beach, right outside Panama City, exploring the sand that some apparitions have been reported. After a hurricane during some extreme weather, a Confederate soldier was spotted walking along this sand. It turned into a light beam, entered the person's home, and walked into the room and touched the person's head when they were under the covers. I know it's hard to explain, but man, fact is stranger than fiction. Right down the beach towards Panama City, there was a person that spotted an elderly lady that appeared in a picture that no one else in the group even seen. There have been sightings of megalodon and extreme hurricanes in this area.
I mean, people, Connor's got tons of stuff like this on his channel. You need to check it out because if you're an investigator, living in Florida, dude, he's telling you some history right there. He gave you some research material already for you to go check it out. Do your EVPs and stuff. So, man, Connor, I would love to see more of this kind of stuff from you too. I know you try to do everything, but
yes, thank you so much for putting that together, Eric. Of course, I've had this YouTube channel I use right now was my secondary YouTube to when I used to make music. My primary YouTube was The Overlooked Youth. I got like 500 subs on there. And then I always use this as just like my fishing videos and me just going out and looking for waterfalls and stuff. So I've always been, this explorer, but not as directed towards like, sharing it to everybody. I was more just documenting it. And all my hard work now, yes, it's all transpired to my career, in my life now. So I'm really glad how it all transpired. But yeah, and then once I did start doing the Bigfoot Anonymous, I started doing all these 1-minute shorts just because I know how people and their attention span are. And I'm just about documenting different locations and really just trying to tell all the haunted stories of all the places I've encountered, investigated, researched, or, you know, been told about. And yeah, man, I love doing these, and I've actually edited a few of them into my longer videos now. But you know, now it's more about just more of an experience for the premiere, and I don't know, you know. So I would love to get back to these short videos, maybe as YouTube shorts, but that's what TikTok's for. But again, I have hours and hundreds of videos of these. But to talk about them directly now, the Dozer School right here, really scary place. It was a school for boys, and anytime any kid tried to escape, they would end up probably killing them or making them vanish another way. And then they were known for cruel and unusual punishment there. There have been more than 50 skeletons found. Yes, some of the boys did die of natural causes, but other ones and other personal stories I've heard. And then this was the church too. And it was all that evilness was done under the church's name. I highly recommend going there and checking it out. It's right by the sheriff's office now, so you can talk to them directly. But there's a bunch of documentaries about it. Dozier School for Boys. This one right here is the old Calhoun County Jail, which is super cool. Watching this, I got goosebumps because it is torn down now. They tore it down. So I was just talking to Evan D, Occult 45, because we just went to this location, and I told him, I'm like, yeah, man, it's a haunted building. They actually had one of the prisoners had some kind of freak out and ended up all bloody from internal injuries. And then they used to have the haunted house there, and that's what those bloody handprints are. That is, you know, newer stuff just to make it scary. But yeah, they tore this place down, and I was just talking to Evan. It's like my research gives me chills, man, when I go back to a place and it's gone, you know, and now they're building something in there. It's like my video plays a little part. And then same thing with this. This was the early days of when I knew about Rocky Creek and going to this church. Now it's all bolted up and you can't get in, and there's trespassing signs everywhere, and they're guarding it. So again, I cherish those moments I get to share in the moment, because I might never get to do it again. And when I document it, at least we get to look back at it. And yeah, sometimes it gets lost in my YouTube catalog. So thank you so much, Eric, and everybody else that, you know, dives deep. I feel like I've done so much for this paranormal world, you know, it myself, and just what I can help be a catalyst for. And I'm proud of that. And I hope everybody who, you know, is proud of me would go back to all my history, man. I've done so freaking much that I'm proud of it, and I feel like you guys would too. And I'm gonna stay on my grind, as you guys know. I hope you guys I knew that guy was on YouTube.
I like your Jeepers Creepers stuff of famous places that are used in movies and all that. So, guys, when you go to his channel, I know a lot of people go to channels and they only look at the last week videos. Scroll down. I mean, they're minute long, minute 30 seconds. They're fun, good information. And boom,
great information.
Great information.
And North Alabama Cryptid just said Bigfoot Anon and Bigfoot Anonymous. He has two channels. Actually, mine is Bigfoot Anon. I started out on SoundCloud with the name Bigfoot Anonymous. And again, if y'all are interested in what I do, I have hundreds of hours of recordings of Sasquatch. I have dozens of hours talking about anonymous encounters that I scoured through the internet and people sent to me over years of just anonymously doing this. And then I read newspaper articles, dozens of hours of that, and then also the mound builders ones too. But it all started off on SoundCloud, just audio recordings, and I'd interview people too. And it was Bigfoot Anonymous. And again, I did so much on Instagram and so many Spotify and iTunes podcasts. And I'm really happy about those because it's all part of the journey. But I wish I was on this live YouTube grind, you know, that whole time, because hopefully, you know, I'd be a lot farther along on the journey. But it all has part and equal value. But yeah, it started off Bigfoot Anonymous on SoundCloud, and then I just brought it over to YouTube. And there is another guy named Bigfoot Anonymous that he actually uploads decent stuff, but he's not involved in the community or anything. But again, I have no beef with him. That's why I changed it to Bigfoot Anon. And shout out to the video earlier when they're bashing on QAnon. You know, I'm not a QAnoner, but a lot of their stuff is not false. I'll tell you that much. So it all brings it together. And again, like Alcohol Anonymous, I want it to be like Bigfoot Anonymous. Like you can feel comfortable with me or with us, with the community talking. Like when you know Bigfoot Anonymous and Bigfoot Anonymous, it's open-minded. I will never shun you. We might laugh you out the door if you come closed-minded, and you might get your jaw broke if you talk sideways. And I'm all about the good vibes, but sometimes, you know, the kid has to get spanked when they mess up. Like that's how we all got tough, right? 100%. Like, so, you know, it's all fine and games, but it's a balance of life. Like the hippies get down too. Like Jesus Christ was a warrior himself. But Bigfoot Anon is Bigfoot Anon on YouTube. Bigfoot Anonymous, much respect to that dude. But that's why I was also thinking about changing my name. But again, I don't get into that kind of stuff. Y'all, it's hard enough to get someone to follow, like, and subscribe. Yeah. So I've like gave up on that crap, and I'm just being me. So you can remember me as Connor Flynn, Loudmouth, you know, delusional one. That's what a lot of these panels say. Well researched. That's who I am. I'm Connor Flynn. Well researched. Remember the vibe.
Well, guys, time to jump on over to UFOs. All right, now this is kind of a another kind of a video of a storyteller type of video. And this channel that I'm going to show you represents to me one of my most favorite UFO channel that's out there. Probably is the most favorite UFO channel that's out there. And it's going to surprise you. It's probably going to shock you. Anybody who knows my channel.
What is it, Eric? What is it?
Well, Bob, people who know my channel might already know this guy, but some of these people don't know this guy. And I actually made this guy his own theme for this channel. So I'm going to play you his theme and play you one of his stories. Now, this is from one of my favorite guys from Grandpa's World, and this is the theme that I made for him. All right, this is one of the stories from Grandpa's World. Let me try to let me do this here. Let me put his link in the chat. Let me tell you guys what's going on with this guy too. Actually, I'll tell you what's going on with him after I play you his video.
Nice.
It's called actually, let me get the full name of this story. I think I'm fucking it up. No, here we go. Elizabeth Berger was an alien woman who lived in Brazil. This is the story about Elizabeth. Here we go.
Welcome to Grandpa's World, and I'm Grandpa. Today we're going to talk about Brazil. And Brazil has many UFO sightings. They even ran Operation Saucer, which was in the 70s. It seems that a very mysterious woman had gone to Brazil. Her name was Elizabeth Berger. She was purchasing a lot of lands there when she was described as being white with blonde hair, blue eyes. She was very short, about 4 foot 4 inches tall. She was able to acquire much of the land. The locals, however, noticed strange lights overhead as balls of lights and moon-shaped lights. And then she would have many visitors the next day. All of them people was white with blonde hair. The boatman said that they watched her walk on water with no clothes on. They reported her to the police, who would go and question her. They would ask her questions about the lights and everything, but always released her. Colonel Hollanda went to her house and was very surprised at what he'd saw. Her house only had a bed and a couple of chairs and nothing else. Her home also lacked windows and doors. There wasn't any food or dishes. There appeared a man who was an airplane pilot. He was looking for evidence of aliens there. 2 times a week he would go out on his boat and bring back groceries, but no one knew him or knew who he sold him to, or sold him to him. He died while in Brazil. Meanwhile, the Berger woman had been arrested. Elizabeth had asked to go to the bathroom. They let her go, and she managed to escape from an extremely tiny window. She was later seen working as a nurse in LA and then later in South Korea. After that, the police ran her passport and found it to be fake because Elizabeth Berger died in 1937. That's it for today. We'll see you later on.
Now I'm gonna show you guys his channel, and I'll tell you what's going on with my grandpa. Okay, this is Grandpa's World. He's got tons of videos of just telling you stories, just stories about aliens, UFOs, and he hasn't made a video since 2 months ago, and I got in contact with him because I thought something might have happened to him. He's okay. This man works for a living still. This man should be retired, living his life. But his wife, she's kind of sick, so he's working to pay the bills. I mean, this man is working. He's taking care of grandkids. You know, he's doing more than he should be doing at his age. If somebody made me a millionaire, I would take care of him. I wish I could take care of this guy because he just comes out, tells stories, and has fun. I mean, guys, there's tons of stories on here. Bob and I used to play a lot of his stuff. I mean,
oh, absolutely.
He'll have, look at this. He has a Black Sabbath shirt. He'll come out with the Goonies shirt. I mean, this is your all-American grandpa.
I love his stories.
Yeah, and this is the kind of people, in my opinion, that we should all support, that we should all watch, because it doesn't matter about the age. He does it for fun. He's not doing it to make money or nothing. This man works his ass off, take care of his grandkids and his wife. Dude, it's inspiring. Mm-hmm. I mean, Connor is inspiring with his words, his energy. He's inspiring that even at his age, he does what it takes to take care of his family.
He should be on TikTok. When his videos are so short, he'd be perfect for TikTok. A little bit of eerie music in the background. Oh, yeah. No need to help that guy out.
And Eric should talk to him. Just mention it. Hey, if you want to put him on TikTok. And if not, then Eric can, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember what show it was. Bob and I actually had it one time on my show. And he actually had to learn how to use StreamYard for the first time and all that. He didn't even know how to do all that. It was fun having him on. I was like, these are kind of people that inspires me to keep going. That
he needs to be TikToked.
And he is going to be coming back with videos. He actually had a rough time going for a little bit for some medical stuff, and he will be back. Beyond that, I got this other cool little video, a little UFO video called "The Story Behind the UFO Crash Site in Emery County." It's up in Utah area. It's up in Utah. It's kind of another inspiring couple story. It's not like pure UFO, but kind of like a museum in a way, you could say.
The tiny town of Clawson in Emery County only has about 150 residents, and there is no gas station or grocery store.
Tiny little town, but Bob, they do have a UFO landing site if they ever need it. Fox 13's Todd Tanner shows us in this installment of Uniquely Utah.
2.5 hours south of Salt Lake City.
The UFO landing site.
Right next to the John Deere pickle slicer, the number 12 do-nothing machine, and the Coyote rest stop.
What nut come up here and build all this crap?
The hillside at the perfect elevation,
6,000 foot, 5 3/4 inches,
is the personal paradise of Vaughn Reed.
Have you ever seen a UFO?
Well, I've seen things that makes you wonder.
Vaughn bought 10 acres along Highway 10 when he retired. Everything here, including a house and 8 outbuildings.
95% of this place is recycled material.
He built himself. And he's not done yet.
Just put this porch posts up yesterday.
At 83, Vaughn's building a new workshop he calls the Dugout.
This is a patented lock here. This is made in a machine shop.
Inside, it's 20 degrees cooler.
We're underground now.
People will ask me, well, how do you get along with all this junk? I says, I'm just used to it, buddy.
There's a Mrs. Reed, too. They've known each other for decades, but only married a few years ago.
What made you think I'm going to marry that guy?
Well, for one reason, he needed somebody.
She's right at home, in the home, where the roof is held up by the trunk of a giant pine tree.
And it's pretty nice. He makes them.
In the winter, it's heated by a heavy steam engine salvaged from a sawmill.
Vaughn went on the mountain by himself and got it.
She seems to enjoy this just as much as you do.
I know she does.
As much as the Reeds love stuff, they love people more.
People don't get together and they don't laugh and have fun together. They're too busy being busy and trying to make a living.
All those things by the highway are meant to make you smile, maybe even slow down and stop for a few minutes.
Yeah, that's been about months now.
There's no charge to visit Vaughn's creations.
We have people sign it when they come.
And if you get invited into the treehouse, that's free too.
When people come up here and they can spend an hour and take off laughing, I know I've done my job.
In Clawson, Utah, Todd Tanner, Fox 13 News.
That's inspiring. You know?
Yeah.
His age again, another older person that just loves building things, showing people, stop by an hour, doesn't charge anybody anything. Take a look, have a UFO craft site. It just tells you that don't worry about your age. Do whatever you want. Have fun because it's going to show. And woman, he's just recently married. You can see the woman is attracted to him because he likes to have fun. I mean, he's like they're like your grandma, what you can have.
Yeah, I love seeing things like that. It's inspirational for one, but it's also just hopeful. It leaves you wanting more and knowing there's more magic out there, and not everything is so black and white and corporate. There's still fun places around the corner, like how we all grew up.
Nah, exactly that. Still a lot of fun out there. Just gotta find it. Gotta search for it now. It's there.
Yeah, they're there. And I just love it. I love people's passion. It's just so fun. It just comes out, you know. That's why a lot of people are attracted to Connor. The passion, the passion's real. And when the passion's real, it really shows. You know?
Yeah.
And I wouldn't mind him if he was charging I think I forgot it looks like I never posted Grandpa's World link. I'm sorry about that. It was still in my thing on the bottom. So that's Grandpa's World right there, people. Go to his channel and I'll have the link up. But like I said, that's inspiring. You know, one day, well, actually, Bob would probably be dead. But when Connor gets that age, I can see Connor having the whole feel of building his own little town, his own little.
I would love that. I will hopefully have my own little state, just like Bam Margera in Viva La Bam back in the day. He created his own state in Pennsylvania that had its own rules. So you guys will all be welcome, but there will be some kind of quiz to get in.
Beyond that, guys, we're gonna go on over to the Mandela effect, and hopefully you guys have blue eyes. I know I have blue eyes. You're like, why you gotta have blue eyes? Well, you're gonna find out. So jump on, stay tuned to the Mandela effect world about the blue eyes.
Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father.
He told me enough. He told me you killed him.
I am your father.
Just like the last thing. Is it a Mandela effect or is it false memories? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Now, blue eyes. Apparently, history, people are coming up with blue eyes, kind of like Buddha. So if some of you already know this, fantastic. Some of you don't, you're going to learn something. Buddha, where if you don't know pictures of Buddha, you're thinking Buddha probably has brown eyes, black eyes, but Buddha has blue eyes. Egyptian gods are coming out with blue eyes. Gods themselves, blue eyes. Even Adolf Hitler himself has blue eyes.
Blue eyes.
So here's a small little video. It's 1 minute. I put together with different pictures. I actually made this video, put some music in it. It's nothing great, but some things about blue eyes. Here we go. I'm going to pause it for a second. So it's just so people can read this. The Ethiopians say that their gods are snub nose and black. The transition, that there's have light blue eyes and red hair. So just a quote about Ethiopians saying their gods have blue eyes
and red hair.
Just want it so people can read that part. Here we go. Now that I just slipped that in there, but maybe there's a message on why they created an AI, artificial intelligence, to have blue eyes. I don't know. I just threw that in there. It came from one of the stones. So now history seems like it's rewriting itself with a lot of people having blue eyes. Hold on, what did John say? Blue green eyes with personality most can deal with. Laugh out loud. Now. Not saying if you guys don't remember Buddha having blue eyes, maybe Buddha doesn't never look into, but they're all having blue eyes. Bob, is there a meaning behind these blue eyes, or is it just our mind playing tricks on us?
Well, I mean, if you know the research, I've done research from the past, from Sagittarius, but blue is, well, blue, number one, in genetics, it's a recessive gene, which means it goes away instantly when one of the parents has a brown eye. So it's a recessive gene. It's pretty much supposed to almost be gone, and yet all of a sudden in this reality with these weird shifts happening, there's more and more blue eyes showing up, which is weird because it's a recessive. In the world of art, back in the day, blue paints were worth more than gold. Blue paint was hard to make. It was very rare, and they didn't use it on anything hardly because it's a hard one to make. So it wasn't very common, but now you see it in paintings, you see it everywhere. You see the Buddhas have it. You see all iconic characters are turning up with blue eyes. Now, blue is an expensive thing to make. There's certain rocks you couldn't find, maybe blue schists, natural jewels, blue. So blue is really dominant, and if you want to go into the symbology of blue, let's go ahead and do. I have my little paper here that I always draw up. But anyway, I'm not gonna. Okay, so blue is. Hold on. Blue is Thursday. Okay, which is Thor's day, which is the son of Odin, which is the son of God. So blue is Thursday, which is Jupiter, which is also Jupiter is the son of the other, anyway. And so blue is really an interesting color, and even in antiquity, now it's dominant. It's in everything. It's in all the old hieroglyphs are littered in blue. You've got temples in the Middle East that the entire inside of the thing is blue flakes and blue squares and blue. It's dominant now in a lot of things, which was not that way. It was not. It was a hard thing to reproduce. There's a whole new history of blue. You've got Berbers down in Africa with blue eyes. You've got people appearing with blue eyes, green eyes. The migrations don't make any sense. You would have had to have a strong red-haired. Well, even the Prophet Muhammad now, they've got his beard on display, which they never had before, and his beard is red. And he said he had to have blue eyes. Now the Prophet Muhammad, Buddha had blue eyes now and red hair. So there's a lot of blue-eyed redheads that are now manifesting themselves down into history. Genghis Khan now is thought to have full red hair, blue eyes. And also he's genetically connected to a large percentage of English. They've done genetics checks on English to see how many of them are related to Genghis Khan. It turns out a lot of them are. What? He's supposed to be this large Chinese-looking like from the Mongol mountain. No, now red hair, blue eyes. So the whole Tartarian myth is now starting to unravel itself as like a head scratcher. It's like maybe they're right, and there's a new argument now. New argument for genetics that says that used to be an out of Africa sequence, but now we're starting to look more like in this reality that it was north. They come from the north down into Africa, the opposite direction. That's where the blue-eyed gene keeps following itself down. They went from north to south, no longer out of Africa, now into Africa. Yeah. So by this genetic trait.
Well, Bob, look at this Asian monk, blue-eyed Central Asian monk. Like you said, you wouldn't think Asian monk with blue eyes.
Well, if he had blue eyes, most likely he has to have, it's a recessive. He's going to have red hair or blonde hair.
Well, in this picture, it looks like he does have red hair.
And it looks like he has red hair. And the other person looks like he has blue eyes but gray, and red obviously goes gray. So there's the other one.
And it looks like there's some freckles on their face too, and the freckles would be an inference that those don't fade. Yeah, red turns gray, the freckles don't fade.
Yeah, and one of my biggest arguments when I was at the University of Washington was they're talking about the Anunnaki and all these reptilians that were here. I go, well, maybe there's an answer for the reptilian people. You have a large red-headed man with heavy freckles, not just freckles across, but pure genetic face covered in freckles, arms covered in freckles. It would look like scales. So if you had a tribe of people like, say, the elongated skull people, they all had red hair, all these large mummies all had red hair, they probably had freckles. People forget about the freckles.
Sunburn,
heavy freckles. Yeah, heavy freckles on a face, and if you were from some desert country, you'd look at a person with freckles and go, my God, that person's a fucking reptile. The scales. Look like scales.
Wonder why there's all these programs now that put the freckles on people and change your eye color. I think it all connects, literally.
It does. You saw that too. On TikTok, there's a new app for freckles, and girls are going out of the way to get freckles. There are people having them surgically put on their faces. They have somehow made their way back. When they were shunned, they were laughed at. On my time, I had freckles growing up, and I was like looked at like a monster. But now freckles are cute. All the girls want freckles.
Why make an AI machine with blue eyes? Vision. I mean.
Yeah, the eyes of God. They say it's the eyes of God.
Bingo. Yeah.
That's a good connection. I liked when you put that in there. And, you guys know me. Water's above, water's below. The color of heaven is blue. Mom, why is the sky blue? Because there's water back there. So I think, it's heavenly. I think that's where the deities come from. That's why I saw the blue in the eyes. And I have eyes that are blue as well. So
there you go. Yeah.
It all does connect. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, beyond that, guys, I think we had a great time. We're going to go around the table, let everybody do, say their last things. I'll just say tomorrow I'll be doing, during the day, I'll be doing something on the Horror Talk channel. I'm going to be comparing movies in a way. Like for example, The Crow is technically not the first movie where a dead person has come back to get revenge. There's been some other movies. So, Matrix, there's been some other movies. So it's going to be like icon movies that we know, but that story is just actually technically been retold. So that's the theme for tomorrow. Then tomorrow night, Matt, Squatch in South Florida is coming on. It's not a Young Guns show tomorrow. It's just Matt joining us to dive in deep into Bigfoot. So tomorrow is a Bigfoot show.
Cool.
So get ready for a lot of Bigfoot talk tomorrow. And there'll be mixed with a little paranormal, of course, because I know Connor and Matt has done some paranormal stuff. So that's tomorrow night. And then Connor, what you got coming up?
Yes, tomorrow I have a big day. Hopefully I'll be able to time up with you to talk about some movies, because honestly, that's my favorite thing to talk about. I love paranormal and urban legends and stuff, but movies connects it all for me, and cinema is consciousness, so that's my bridge to all of this. But yes, hopefully that in the afternoon, but I'm going to be on Jared King Live, his first episode that he's going to be interviewing someone. I'll definitely put the link on my community page. That's at 7 Central. And then I'm super excited to watch Matt's show. He's got some crazy British Columbia dude that goes out to the woods with the drum. Definitely my type of guy, my type of research. But then I'm really pumped to, hear him talk about the skunk ape and maybe hear about his encounter. And maybe we can have a little guest appearance from Nana Boss. Wouldn't that be cool? As well? Maybe she could talk about some of the camp outs. And I know she had an encounter too. But man, wouldn't that just be a fun, wild night? But I got tons of stuff planned. I am going to upload a bunch of videos from when Evan D was just in town. Cult 45 podcast. We went to Torreya State Park. We did the Ghost Box at Bellamy Bridge. We did the Cavern tour. I took him to where the Void Cat was filmed. So a lot of cool, fun adventures. And then I have tons of, videos in my stockpile, but I'm about to be monetized. I'm like 40 hours away. So guys, go please watch my channel, or put it on your tablet. If you can't stand me, mute it, put it on your tablet and just throw it on the couch. But as you guys know, please buy my book. Eerie Swamps, Road Trip to Eden. Beyond the Fray did an awesome job putting out this new revised edition, updated and everything. And I love how the skunk ape is on the back cover. But man, I got so much more planned. I'm working on a new one called Deep South Swamp Fangs. So it's a bunch of strange creatures, but got awesome footage yesterday of like 8 to 12 dolphins all just swimming around us. I can't wait to put that on TikTok. That might get 1 million views. But everybody check out my TikTok too. I've been dropping some crazy knowledge and truth bombs. There is a Sasquatch in the country we're not even allowed to say anymore. And his name is Grisha. And there's tons of pictures of him. I actually have footage of the Bigfoot driving a car. Got tons of clips of them speaking. If you go to Igor Burtsev, he was a doctor that She Squatchers had on. He was at the Nebraska Bigfoot conference, and someone called him from overseas, and a Bigfoot was on the other line. And that was like 8 months ago, and I've been connecting a bunch of dots, and Janice Carter has came forward with a lot of information. But man, just stay posted to that, or hit me in the DMs if you guys are really interested. But this Grisha Bigfoot, he has dreadlocks and he drives a car and he likes liquor. There's video and pictures of all of it. And then he is related to this other one called Dargon that I actually posted a video of yesterday of him speaking. And then one of the Bigfoots has a relationship with an imp, IMP, kind of looks like a little leprechaun creature. And this dude, Alexei, has this imp living in a barn. And it's really crazy. But he just needs to feed the imp, and he'll stop being so aggressive. But, man, it's just crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. And I just love it how some of these old-timers and some of these Sasquatchers that you care so much, or they seem like they care so much. And they're like, man, we need a Bigfoot picture. We need proof. We need this. This is all we need. And then I've provided that tenfold. And some of, Turquoise and Sasquatch, her pictures are groundbreaking. That should be on the news everywhere. So some of these guys I've less taken seriously now because we've provided the proof. It's right in the face. It's gotten 5 million views on TikTok. 20 million people saw these things on TikTok, but some people don't even want to address it. So what are you actually searching for? I think some people are in love with the hunt. They never want to actually the treasure because bodies have been found. These things have been killed. They have the DNA. I've had those come into realization moments that's like, these things are just other people, but you kind of lose the magic, but then you're like, oh my God, that have remained so mysterious and thrive so well in this world. So yes, your dreams get crushed, but then new awakenings come. So again, take it if you can eat it, but spit it out if you can't.
So Bob, what do you got coming up?
Well, I might take a little break. You got a show tomorrow, so I might just take a break tonight. But I just been doing nightly ones again. I borrowed like a page from your book there, and I started just putting up pictures, just giving someone some visuals to look at as I'm talking now, and kind of trying to branch things together, trying to show people there's a link between this. You see the link between this and this. There's a fucking constant link between everything. It just shows that this is a living universe. Like you can see the threes, the numbers, everything is just like connected. I'm like, come on, you gotta be stupid or really, really high not to see the connections now. Everything's connected in this universe. So I've been trying to just show people evidence of that if I can. That's about it.
Then everybody on my Reddit page is at 851 subscribers, getting closer to 1,000. If you want a real Reddit page, go to this one, and I'm allowed to keep that name there. I'm allowed to keep that name on that channel. So,
hey, we see that Chad Smith podcast is in here. He had an awesome show this morning, and I was really excited for him, Sonny, and Spooky to be a part of this. But JoJo Bones calls a freaking meeting right when he knows that breaking news is coming on. I got a bone to pick with JoJo Bones. Yeah, for real.
Well, Chad almost had a great show. We were on it. If we were
they carried it the whole time. I was willing to pop in today if it timed up, but Carol killed it for 3 hours straight. And Carol XO, her channel is awesome. She does like late night radio, and then she does oracles that she created herself. So it was an awesome show. But yeah, JoJo Bones and the Discord private meetings when other family doing the shows, like, yo.
I'll tell you how I gave my respect to Chad Smith. I made a show. I
love Chad Smith.
I made my show today at 10:30 so I can watch all of it and relax and be able to jump on this.
That's the thing. We put our show back so that we could like unwind from that, so that they could pop in, and then they call a Discord meeting.
I know, right?
Oh my God, those are my bros. Come on. Spooky, I was loving him at the end of the show when he's talking about Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter. Like, I definitely want to have him on Horror Talk so we can talk about movies, man. Because, dude, when you hear that people are, like, into the same stuff as you, and you walk around all day long and no one gives an F, and then you find people of your tribe. Like, I have goosebumps right now. Like, look at my leg. But, yeah.
And I'll have links up.
Period. Yeah, no more freaking Discord. Come on, man. Save that crap for when they're like I don't know, when there's no shows. But that's the thing. When you got a lot of friends, you guys could have had the chat in the chat, But I'm not mad. I'm just saying that's the kind of stuff. Like, come on, y'all. Come on.
I'll have both.
I wouldn't do anything I wouldn't have y'all do. I subscribe. I donate. I share. I hope y'all can too. You have to lead by example 100%.
And guys, I'll have both links up tonight for tomorrow's shows. And the movie talk is really fun. If you like movie talks, it's just fun. There's maybe, I don't know, there's not really any Bigfoot paranormal talk. It's mostly movies to get away from this kind of stuff for a while, refreshing your mind. And we're going to get in deep in some movies tomorrow. Beyond that, guys, we'll see you tomorrow.